We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made the YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage, and enjoy the show.
Who will win the bidding war for Chris Jericho? TNA announces a brand new TV deal. Seth Rollins was shown without a brace. And last but not least, y'all will get to see the Mount Rushmore of TNA wrestlers from us today. My name is Shad Talks Graps, and we are back with another installment of the Wrestling Republic Daily Podcast. And we got ourselves a Wednesday news show. As you can see, my two cats are wrestling right behind me, and they are ready for this show too. So I won't hold it down for too long without introducing the panel that we have. First and foremost, we out in the West Coast. Some say they the best coast. We got my dog, Clark Taylor. How are you, bro?
I'm fired up to be here as always. Obviously, Seth Rollins was seen without his brace, but brace for impact because we're going to talk about the new TNA deal. I'm fired up about that, Shoddy. We got a lot to talk about on this Wednesday. It's a news Wednesday, and we've got the sweetest crew in the game. I'm fired up to be here as usual. Happy Wednesday, my friends.
No doubt, man. And always a pleasure, bro. Pleasure. We don't do enough shows together, right? It feels like that.
Yeah, never.
Last but very not least, we got my dog from the greatest state in the United States of America. 2 up, 2 down, DMV's own Aunt You. What's going on, big bro?
Man, happy Wednesday, everybody. It's hump day. We're here to hang out, talk a little bit of wrestling, talk a little bit of sports. And it's going to be a good one, man. This is the best crew we got around, so let's brace it. Let's brace in, as Clark said. Brace for this show.
No doubt, no doubt. And I see you with the Christmas tree up already, man. Fully decorated.
Respect.
'Tis the season to be jolly. But
It's December.
it's the season of potential free agency. We got to talk about the first topic because it has to do with, some say, a polarizing figure in the world of pro wrestling. Some say he is a Hall of Famer. I would agree. But he is currently employed with All Elite Wrestling. That might not be for so long. There has been reports that Chris Jericho's contract does come to an expiration at the end of this month, end of this year, 2026. We potentially can get the bidding war for Chris Jericho. And we spoke about it last week. It was a jam-packed interview, but we got to talk about more of it just because so much was extensively covered in it. Tony Khan spoke about it with Ariel Helwani, and he did note he respects Chris Jericho and his contributions to AEW, and he hopes he will return. He did note that his contract is expiring at the end of 2025. They know that while Khan has expressed a desire to have Jericho back, he acknowledged those potential rumors that he may go elsewhere. To also add on to that, Chris Jericho did speak briefly this week about it, and he says he knows that he will be wrestling in 2026. He doesn't know which company, but he knows that he's not done. He's not lacing up the boots. That just puts so much out there for us as wrestling podcasters and media members to kind of speculate. Where could he potentially go? Obviously, WWE, we know what he has done there. One of the best introductions of all time in WWE history, like Y2J, Y2K. If y'all don't obviously y'all remember that, but those in the comments. But then you also got to talk about what he's done in AEW, how he has helped contribute and made AEW a very, very legitimate company, being one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name that signed there out the gate. We got to talk about TNA. Now they got a little bit more cha-ching in their pockets. We'll talk about that more in detail after. But they could be one He's got ties to New Japan. There is so many places that could potentially get Chris Jericho. And honestly, all of them could potentially benefit having Chris Jericho. I know there's a lot of rumblings of what he's done in AEW. People are not happy as of late, but we can't deny that the dude is a legend. But I want to ask you guys, because there is obviously not a wrong answer. There might not even be a right answer until we see where he signs. Where do you guys think and want Chris Jericho to go to in 2026? And we're going to start with you, man. Where are you thinking?
Oh, man. So this is tough, man, because I've known Chris Jericho all the way back to the TNT days, right? Not WCW wrestling, right? And it was like watching him back there, his matches with Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko and all that. It's tough. So I can say that I don't care where Chris Jericho goes, as long as they continue to allow Chris Jericho to be Chris Jericho, because he has given us some of the best moments in wrestling, interrupting The Rock, giving us the list. So, I mean, if he came back and he joined WWE and, like he had another little run with Kevin Owens, I think that would be super fun. If he stays in AEW, like everything he did with the learning tree and all that stuff, it was so much fun. Like Chris Jericho is just, he's a genius when it comes to this wrestling business. So he's one of those people to where no matter where he goes back, I don't think they'll do him dirty. I don't think they could do him wrong. So I don't really have a preference on this one, man. I'm a Chris Jericho fan. I'll root for him wherever he goes.
Nah, man, I don't disagree with that. We all are Jericho-holics here, right?
No doubt about that.
The Ayatollah of rock and roller. But you mentioned WWE, and I'll say it. I would not be opposed to him going back to WWE. And this is coming from someone who's been overly critical towards WWE, but it's just the fact that I don't know how much longer he has in this industry, not this company, but in this industry in general, right? He is in his 50s, and we're in this new phase of pro wrestling where we've seen people get their last dance, right? Their last opportunity to do stuff before they hang it up. We saw Cena be able to do it, and I don't know. Part of me wants to see Jericho get maybe one last run in the WWE if he's going to hang it up and mix it up with a lot of people that you mentioned, man. Potentially, Kevin Owens, but a lot of new people too. Just because Jericho is someone that is very good at being able to work with so many different styles of wrestlers and tell so many different stories. So for me, as much as I love and I think people are overly critical to what he's done in AEW as of late, and have it's too much. Wrestling sometimes got way too much short term, or what have you done for me now in a vacuum. Sometimes I feel like you got to really scale back and remember what he did from the beginning of it. Like, I'll be real with you. I went to the first Dynamite. I wasn't as hip to a lot of the wrestlers there, but I did know Chris Jericho, and I was hyped to see Chris Jericho. So, I mean, that's just how I see it. I do want to get a couple comments, and then obviously, Clark, I know you are excited to talk about this because you are the last person that saw Chris Jericho as of late. Obviously, you got to jam out to some Fozzy. National Make a Gift Day, is that really true? Because it is December, so
it actually is technically. Wow. That's the funniest part.
That is amazing. Well, be like your inner Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa and do it yourself, y'all. Make a gift. Don't buy a gift. We got DCX for
5.
Okay, does it only count for the daily? Because me and him had 2 on off the air last night too.
That's true. No, off the air doesn't count towards the hat counter. So it's 5. It's 5 on the daily this week, and that's huge. That's oh wow. This is everything we needed. Yeah, it's 5 hats on the way.
We got some catching up to do. Honestly, that daily yesterday ruined it because
there was a hat-free daily.
Huh?
There's a hat-free daily.
Yeah, that is horrible. I don't approve that. Also, RIP Larry, of course, 10 days until Cena retires. There's a lot. This is gonna be a jam-packed week for us to talk about pro wrestling with that. But definitely, man, rest in peace, Larry. Send him love and condolences to AJ and Punk during this time. And then imagine Joe Hendry versus Chris Jericho. Well, Mr. NXT off the air, where do you think he's gonna go? Because do you think that could be a potential match? But in all honesty, I want to know, what are your thoughts on this, and where do you think Jericho will end up in next year?
So seriously, Shad, I'm so glad you brought up the fact that people have been hypercritical of the latest stuff he's done in AEW, because I think it's important to note. But what also is important to note is that this is the brilliance of Chris Jericho, and he does it all the time because he's so well-rounded outside of wrestling. He has a lot of things going on. You said I saw Fozzy. I wish I saw Fozzy. No, I saw Quarantine, his other band. And they play Makeupless Kiss. It's the most specific cover band in all of cover bands. And they played it in San Juan Capistrano at the Coach House. And yes, if you're wondering if that's the same San Juan Capistrano referenced in Dumb and Dumber when he says the women in Aspen flow like the salmon of Capistrano, which is really the swallows of Capistrano. Yes, it is that same San Juan Capistrano in Southern California. That is where he played this show, and Jericho seems to not even care because he's in a position to where he's wanted both places. Both places, everyone knows how good he is in the industry. Maybe publicly, maybe when it came to the end of that AEW run, it got a little bit stale. Wherever he returns, it's going to be a big deal. If they play Judas on Dynamite, it'll almost be as big of a deal as if they play Break the Walls Down on Monday Night Raw. In either way, I think it's a good option for Chris Jericho. From the rumors we heard about Chris Jericho being offered a retirement tour in WWE, I don't think that seems like something that he might be interested in. He doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon. Based on the concert I just saw from him a few weeks back, he was rocking out like he was in his 20s, and he looks to be in great shape and ready to wrestle. So I don't think that he's looking for a 1-year retirement tour type deal. And if that's what prevents him from going to WWE, I don't blame him. And so for that reason, I think he stays with AEW. And I think he returns in character to an earlier version of Chris Jericho, a little bit of the bubbly, a little bit closer to Inner Circle Chris Jericho, a little bit closer to Rockstar Chris Jericho. And maybe that's recency bias just because a few weeks back I saw him rock out. But at the same time, that's my pick, man. If I had to guess, Chris Jericho comes back as closer to the leader of the Inner Circle, the little bit of the bubbly, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, that type of a Chris Jericho, like he wants to be, gets away from the learning tree, gets away from things like that, and reinvents himself once again, because nobody in wrestling has been better than that, or than Jericho at that.
Now, let me ask you a follow-up question. With, obviously, we're talking about today's current iteration of All Elite Pro Wrestling. We talk about the fans and their reception towards him. Do you think Jericho being off TV now, hitting free agency, potentially flirting with the idea of WWE, but coming back would get the fans to be like, oh, snap, and kind of win him back over with them? Or do you think so?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I think that works. Absolutely. I think honestly, as big as the initial pop will be, if he were to return to WWE in a hypothetical universe here, right? Let's say he returns to WWE, they play the 2J on the which is just a sped up 2J, Y2J, right? That's all that noise is every single time on the countdown clock. Great production by the WWE back in the day there too. Thanks a lot, Def Rebel. But either way, my
oh man, that's funny.
My point is, if they play that song, it'll be a huge hit. Problem is, whatever follows, I'm not 100% sure that WWE is ready to receive Chris Jericho like he used to be, other than just the nostalgia of getting to hear the song again. And that could wear off pretty quickly. I think in AEW, if you bring Judas back, which has been gone for quite some time too, with that fan base, and you sort of pump fake, right? Or I guess in the words of Bob Knight, it's a ball fake, not a pump fake, but you know what I mean? You just, the little fake, and then you end up back at AEW. I think it actually makes more sense for Chris at this stage, if he's not looking for a 1-year retirement tour. If he's looking for a 1-year retirement tour, then he's signing with WWE. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And I acknowledge that that is a valid argument. If you believe that Chris Jericho thinks he's done in the next calendar year and you want to do the same thing we just did with Cena, more power to you. I just don't see that to be the case.
And I feel like MJF already laid the recipe down for the pump fake, right? Or the ball fake, whatever you want to say. With am I going to go to WWE? Am I going to stay with AEW? And then the pop MJF got when he came back was insane. So the blueprint's already there for Chris Jericho. And I think he can do like I said, Chris Jericho can do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
And no matter where he goes, I don't think anybody will be mad. I think, even AEW stands will be happy that he's back in WWE, and WWE tribalists or stands or whatever you want to call them will be happy to see Jericho back in
if it was the
AEW,
other way,
as long as
though,
he's wrestling.
either side will be disappointed too, is the interesting part, right? It'll be, why did he go there? And that's the conversation I think the three of us probably can agree on. We don't really want to have, no matter what the result is. Like, that's the not fun one.
For sure.
Just enjoy it.
It makes it fun. Obviously, this is a conversation. We'll see what happens. And we're speaking in hypotheticals. Also, before we get to the next topic, we got Sakura Amy 1293 saying, "What up, peoples?" And then we got, of course, team member Little Bella Diva, aka Angie, saying, "Hey everyone, what's going on, Angie? How are you?" DCX Warlord wants him to go to TNA. Well, we don't know if he will go to TNA, but we do know something about TNA, buddy. They just got a lot of money, and they got themselves a new TV deal because it was announced by TNA this week that they, starting January, will be moving to AMC, a actual network channel that you can get on cable television, and they got themselves back on TV. It is a $30 million deal, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, is that annually or is that just I don't know. A lot of the details on the deal is not obviously transparent, but this is something very positive for TNA and something that is going to help them. It is also noted per a lot of sources, I believe like The Observer, Fightful, noted that this doesn't, and our friends at Huge Pop Radio, most importantly too, noting that the partnership with WWE and NXT will continue on. There's rumblings that it was going to end after that, but apparently WWE, with the notoriety of like helping them out, got them within getting this TV deal. This is big for them. This is exciting. And obviously, pro wrestling, we need to see companies have success, thrive, because that creates more opportunities and jobs for a lot of our favorite professional wrestlers. I'll ask you guys, though, what are your thoughts on this big news? Clark, obviously, I know you are big into the side of business, especially when it comes to pro wrestling and just the whole aspect of TV. What are your thoughts on it?
So I find this one really, really, really fascinating. You look at sort of the history of TNA. They were on Spike TV once, so was Monday Night Raw. That was an interesting platform. It became Versus. Now it's defunct. Bally Sports at one stage sort of stepped in, like as sports gambling came on the scene, and Fox Sports has been around that type of a scene and whatnot. AMC's interesting. AMC's a movie station, and ironically named the same as the movie theater that started in Kansas City, Missouri, AMC Theaters, but they are not affiliated companies. Despite it being generally a movie platform, any TV deal is a big deal here. I'm not exactly sure on the figures. I'm not exactly sure what it means, but I also feel like I've seen this movie before. You know what else was a movie platform? Sci-Fi Network. And guess what they put on Tuesday nights? WWECW. And that didn't work so well, my friends. Thursday nights is the night to do it because you aren't competing directly against another major program. It remains to be seen. Now, if the rumors are true that this ends the NXT partnership, then I don't know what in the wide world of sports we're doing, because all of a sudden then you cut the available talent in half on TNA. And I think the reason that I've spoken so much about TNA in recent months aside from the potential of getting a contract and a lot of conjecture spoken from inside of that company about potentially getting a television contract. The only reason I've been talking about him is because of the partnership with the WWE program, and that's NXT on Tuesday nights and the CW network. And we've seen TNA talent on that network for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. If anything, I think it's constipated NXT. And if anything, I think it's not really benefited anybody. It really hasn't, because TNA runs alongside NXT and NXT runs alongside TNA. It's got to look a heck of a lot different, especially after taking a month off of tapings. If you're going to go to live weekly television, and they've got to deliver here, because there's been a lot of words this year about how great TNA can be, and they can be the second biggest promotion, and this, that, and the other. I just don't see it, and I do not see Thursday night catching Wednesday night. I just don't see it.
Okay, so you took my follow-up question from me and you answered it, and I like that, because that is obviously the cachet. So from my understanding, the partnership is not ending as of now, right? I think a lot of this is fingerprints of the WWE trying to power it up. And we spoke about it last week with the Tony Khan interview with Ariel Helwani, where he definitely noted that he thinks WWE working with TNA is in a manner of kind of fighting against him, kind of, trying to dust them off from the face of it. And he's noted, and the thing is, he's noted like, you've seen a lot of it happen back in the past with like Jim Crockett Promotions. He's used that as an example and whatnot. But I'm interested to see the logistics and more so the production, because when you get on, if you're doing live television, then you're going to have to be on site week on week. Are you going to stay on site at one location, or are you going to travel more, right?
And to your point, think about this. We do no spoilers. But if you're going to do a bunch of tapings like you do right now, the spoilers before TV are going to be double.
Yeah.
Because of the venues and the production that you're going to run. You're going to get things. If you're going to tape the same way you currently tape as a company, you're stuck in that cycle, and it'll be the most spoiled wrestling on the market. And that's my biggest fear for TNA.
Also, the money aspect of it. Does this mean we get a bigger budget for resources, including roster? There's a lot of free agents that are potentially. So that's the thing too, right? I'm curious to see what the talent are going to do, because they're getting more money. Y'all better ask for more money on this next go-around contract. If you're an AJ Francis, a Steve Macklin, right? You
Santana.
better be like, hey, the Rash,
point,
all three of y'all. Wait.
At this point, you shouldn't even have to ask for it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to take care of your people. I mean, that's business 101. If you're getting a huge deal like that, you got to share the wealth. Also, I mean, it does, like, 30 million does give you the ability to travel. I know the first live show that they're doing is going to be January 15th, I believe. And it's going to be in Dallas, Fort Worth. That's a pretty iconic place to take it for your first one.
Sure.
So that's going to be a live show. I don't know how many live shows they're going to do after that, but this gives them the ability to do a live Thursday show. They'll probably wait till after football season.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be dealing with Thursday night football.
It's true.
But once that comes around, and small, like, to take the AEW route, smaller venues, live tapings, give people an option to be able to go watch a wrestling show and not break the bank. I say that because I was just looking at the tickets for seeing the show, and that hurt my heart. But I mean, if you could pay $25 to go to a wrestling show to see a live taping, like that's something you'll take the whole family to. You can drop $100 bill and enjoy the show. It'll get you to learn new wrestlers. You'll see people that you haven't seen before. You'll be able to see how fun and AJ Francis is. You'll be able to see Mike Santana do his thing. So I think it's great for them. This works out really good for them. They gotta do it the right way, man. That's all it is. I mean, so many times people do things the wrong way, and it doesn't matter what they do. So
Yeah,
be
no, I
smart
agree.
with it.
It's the first step. Now you got to follow through. And like y'all said, man, they aren't a hot commodity right now. So they got to show AMC, yo, this is your investment and this is why it's worth it. This is why we're going to bring viewership to your channel and whatnot. So I hope for the best, man, for them, for all of the wrestlers, for everything. It's exciting time. So and it's easy for me to watch now. I can watch the joint. I ain't got paid. Sorry, TNA. I got too many subscriptions, man. I ain't got enough time to pay for y'all's too. So unless y'all giving me a free one, but y'all not. So let's talk about Seth Rollins, because everybody in professional wrestling is so privy to see what's going on, and they view these little details. Seth is great, but I got to grip with you, Seth, because don't let that cockiness, because your Bears, get to your head, boy. I watched Rich Eisen, okay? I watched you talk, I'm going for the Dallas Cowboys, trying to glaze whatever his name is. I want them to take the East. Boy, shut your mouth. You a Chicago Bears fan. This is an anomaly. Y'all will be back to being trash next year, and we will see the constant I hate football tweets nonstop. Stop disrespecting my Eagles. We had the Eagles and Bears alliance. That should still stay intact. Y'all won. Now you root for us and we root for you. But I digress. More importantly, he was shown without a brace. And there was something significant that happened this past weekend. Clark got to see it live. There was somebody
No,
that
he
hit
didn't.
a super kick. There was
No,
somebody
he
that
didn't. He was blindfolded.
Clark heard it by that
I
child
heard
behind
it.
him
I heard it. I
live.
got the info from the guys in the sitting around me.
Yeah, man. It's like Stevie Wonder watching the PLE, basically. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
I can't lie. I peaked by that stage of the match.
Rollins was without his brace. Does this mean Seth Rollins is potentially ahead of schedule? And also, is there a slim chance? Because I'll say this. There's a thing called stunt doubles out there, y'all. There's a thing called stunt double out there, y'all. That may have not been Seth that night. But does this mean Seth is potentially coming back? And I want to know what you think about it all.
Look just like him.
So when it comes to shoulder injuries, I guess I can speak on this a little bit. My son's junior year of high school, he dislocated his shoulder in a football scrimmage, and I remember us battling back with that, and trying to get him straight, getting the brace and everything for him to wrestle in and play football in. So shoulders are tricky as long as there's no ligament damage. I've seen them take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months. So could Seth Rollins perhaps be back and ready to go? He could. But that's the beauty of what Seth Rollins is doing. Because by him faking the ankle or the knee injury, coming out and cashing in, and now with this injury, you don't know what's going on. Like somebody is keeping a little bit of kayfabe alive, and I'm happy for it. Like watching Seth Rollins give that interview and all that bear stuff. That's neither here, it was good, and it was like he gave enough but didn't give anything at all. Like he's like, yeah, we're on track. What does that mean? These athletes are insane, because when Cena came back at the Rumble number 30 after rehabbing 2-3 times a day, doing all the stuff to come back early, no one thought Cena was coming back as early as he did. These guys must have some animanium in them, because they're healing faster than anything I've seen. So was that Seth Rollins who stomped CM Punk? No. Could it be Seth Rollins? Sure could have. So I don't know, man. It's just because he's out of his brace doesn't mean that he's healed up enough to have done the stunt like that. I think climbing that cage and dropping in the way he did, and just little movements, right? That was not Seth Rollins. Seth legitimately hurt his shoulder. He's not going to be able to put both of them up like that at this point. So dropping down for that cage from the cage is something Seth Rollins couldn't have done. Not yet.
For sure. And I mean, do y'all think sometimes wrestling fans we are? I agree keeping kayfabe alive, but they searching for stuff a little too much.
We don't suspend disbelief enough these days anymore. And I like to try to. I said this actually the other day after the show. I said, how great would it be if Seth goes, it was my vision the whole time. You thought Braun really speared me. He's been on my side though. It's always been my vision. I had to go away and rehab an injury, so I had to pull the wool over your eyes. That's how we got Brock Lesnar. That's how we got Logan Paul to team up. We don't need him anymore. Right? I mean, that kind of a promo, that kind of stuff, that kind of even, I don't care who was under the costume. Tell me it was Seth. Lie to me. Lie to me and I'm okay with it.
That's what I'm thinking, man.
I'm completely okay with it. Lie to me and tell me it was Seth Rollins.
Austin Theory could do what he does best and just
I don't need to be told the truth about pro wrestling.
Right.
Yeah. He was a great stunt double too.
Yeah, Austin Theory, he's good at doing the little video game stuff for the 2K.
The stomp was gorgeous. And the climb out of the cage, athletic, all of the above. He did his job. We never have to know it was him. I don't want to know it was him.
I don't either. Personally, I don't got no issue with Austin Theory. I think he's a phenomenal pro wrestler, but it's just I don't know, man. I think everyone's trying to make Paul Heyman be like John Calipari, just get all the young
Shoot, I was about to say John Gotti. John
Gotti.
He's wrong John, but similarly Italian.
If you really want to mess with the fans, have someone come out wearing the all black, have them get jumped by CM Punk, pull the mask off, pull the hoodie off, and have it be El Grande Americana. That would get a pop from people. But not any of the El Grande Americanas we saw.
That would be somebody else.
Oh man, that would be so great.
Yeah, reveal it just as somebody random.
Oh my god!
Bring back Giovanni Vinci just for that.
Yeah, let's get my man Vinci back, man. We need him back.
Make him El Grande, even though it's been Ludwig the whole time.
Or if you want to go more sinister, make it Nathan Frazier.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
That would be different.
I wouldn't hate
that young boy too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate
Pay attention, WWE. If you're watching this and you do it, I want royalties.
Facts.
I love it.
He needs get in on the writers committee, man. But y'all know what it is, man. Today is Wednesday. You know what we end our shows with on Wednesday. We like to have a little bit of fun here. And we like to do Mount Rushmores. Today we're going to go to the company that they just got a new TV deal. And we're going to give y'all our Mount Rushmores for them. So without ado, it'll be me, Clark, and you, Snake Draft. Y'all know how we do this. This is the Mount Rushmore of TNA wrestlers. And with the first pick, I am going to take someone that is phenomenal. I am selecting AJ Styles. Ben Allison, give me a golf clap for that one. That one was specifically for you and your fan page that you made. Clark, you're on the clock.
For my first pick on my TNA Mount Rushmore, I'm taking a West Coast legend, Samoa Joe. Joe. No doubt, current AEW World Champion. Stoked about that pick.
Not a bad pick. Obviously, those are two guys that I loved watching, especially Joe on TNA, on the early iterations of it. And you are on the clock. First go around.
I'm I'm gonna take us back in the day a little bit, and for my TNA wrestler on my TNA Mount Rushmore, I'm doing Ron the Truth Killings.
Yes, sir.
Hell of a pick.
That is golden.
Hell of a pick, bro. Oh man, I like that one. That got me hyped. All right.
Oh, and then snaking it back.
Yeah, you are on your next pick.
I'm taking it with a guy who had probably one of the greatest matches in TNA versus Ron the Truth Killings. A man who we watch spit fire weekly, Mr. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
That is okay. That's interesting. I like that one. Clark, you got to follow up
I
on
really
those two
like it.
picks.
That is a difficult pick to follow, but for my second pick, I was so close to taking another TNA knockout, but I have to take one that is a total trailblazer, completely changed the game when it comes to women's wrestling. Awesome Kong is my second pick.
Oh,
Damn you.
Awesome Kong is my second pick. And I was between two, but yeah, I'm really excited I got Awesome Kong there.
Okay. Dang, that was a great pick. That's who I wanted potentially next. Okay. With my second pick, I am going to have to go pick someone who is pretty notable. Someone I think is one of the better workers of all time. Let me get Chris Sabin as my next pick.
Nice one.
Ooh.
So that's that pick. We're gonna follow up, and I'll have to definitely pick. I definitely got to go with the knockouts, and I'm going to select. I don't care if it's two people. Let me get the beautiful people with my next pick.
That's
fair.
a great one.
I like
loved it.
that. I like that a lot.
Fly, as Taz used to say.
Absolutely, no doubt. And I mean, that leaves it to me. And this is a difficult pick for me because I'm between a couple, but I'm going to go with my gut here. And I'm going to go with, for my third pick, now known as Chris Park, the Monster Abyss. I think Abyss and TNA go hand in hand. I think there's an argument to be made. He is one of the best wrestlers to never wrestle in the WWE all time. I think he's in the top 10, seriously. And there's a reason that he's a producer now at WWE. Abyss was off the charts, and I'm glad I got him on my Mount Rushmore here.
Man, I was going to announce him as the master of the Monster Ball matches. And you
I
took him
love
from me. You took him from me.
I
Okay.
love that.
So, got to switch up a little bit here. I need a knockout. I need a TNA knockout. So my last two picks are going to be from the state of Virginia. I've actually got to meet both of these people. One of them, like my son, is best friends with his son. We used to hang out all the time before he moved. So the first person I'm taking, TNA knockout, Richmond, Virginia, Mrs. Mickey James.
Ah, great pick.
Hardcore country.
And to stick with VA, to stick with the 2 Up, 2 Down, this is a name that a lot of our listeners may have to go back and Google. And when you go back and Google him, this man has had many great matches. I got to watch him wrestle Matt Hardy. I watched him be in a tournament in TNA and almost pull the whole thing out. He is a local boy from Fairfax, Virginia. I'm glad to call him one of my friends, Mr. Christian York.
Wow, what a pick.
Wow. I did not know Christian York was from Fairfax, Virginia.
Yeah,
dog. Born in Fairfax, Virginia, man. Went to Manassas Park.
That's fire. I used to live right behind M Park. Oh, man.
love that.
Clark, you are on the clock.
Okay, so this is a really difficult one because I'm leaving two of my all-time favorites on the cutting room floor, but another one needs to be picked when it comes to TNA, and it's TNA Mount Rushmore, not all-time Mount Rushmore. So if we're not including anything else but TNA, I have to go with the Fallen Angel. Christopher Daniels, a West Coast legend, SCU, a part of one of my favorite matches of all time, and just an absolute wrestling legend. Could do anything you asked him to. Christopher Daniels.
Such a good pick. Such a good pick. Okay, man. There's a couple honorable mentions that I am not gonna pick. One is Elix Skipper because he's the man.
Oh, that's such a good one.
It's because he's the man. Gail Kim is also a person that could definitely be taken, but I gotta take the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. Prime Kurt Angle. That is my last pick.
That's a great pick because that was my next pick. If it wasn't, I mean, cutting room floor wise, though, Hall of Famers. I mean, TNA Hall of Famers, not. But Sting, Jeff Jarrett, Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Think about that. James Storm, Bubba Dudley, or Bully Ray.
Oh yeah! I mean, don't forget Black Machismo.
Yes.
Jay Lethal.
Oh man!
So there was so many to pick from.
Jay Lethal.
I mean, Kazarian, Nick
Rhino.
Moose. Yeah, right.
Moose.
The whole main event mafia, Ric Flair.
Eric Young. James Storm. Gail Kim. We picked
There's a lot of people, man. That shows the rich history that TNA has.
Jazz was in TNA.
Jazz was in TNA. That was Bald Jazz, though, right?
That was Bald Jazz.
She was dope, though. I like Bald Jazz.
Bald Jazz was sick.
She was tough.
We got a couple comments. Fernando Zayas came late to the party. He said he's sorry that he's late.
All good, all good.
People pick. He said Abyss, one of the most underrated big men ever. He also liked the Christopher Daniels big. And he also said Amazing Red.
Love that.
Which is also who's a phenomenal wrestler who's still wrestling to this day, man. Dude is like a 20-year vet. Just crazy. But that is all the time that we have today, y'all. Thank you, everybody. Is there anything y'all you want to say something?
Dusty Rhodes was in TNA.
Did you say Steve Irwin?
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, Dusty Rhodes, he was. Sorry, I thought you said Steve Irwin. Never mind. Crikey, mate.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
funny.
Pac-Man Jones.
Oh my goodness, Pac-Man.
D'Angelo Williams.
Frank Wycheck.
The great white Frank Wycheck.
Yeah. Titans tight end. All-time Titans tight end.
Great stuff.
Kevin Dyson threw a punch over the railing one time.
He did.
Crimson.
Oh man, that's
Let's
crazy.
go.
I'll never
Let's
forget.
let Shad wrap up the show.
That's all the time that we have, man. Thank y'all for rocking with us. We'll be back same time tomorrow. I am Shad Talks Grabbed. I got a quarter zip and I got a matcha somewhere. I don't know where it is. But y'all have a good one.